"Sir, you mean I can recover all those properties they took away again?" "Yes, dear, just file a case against them for illegal possession of your late parents' properties and I will be there for you." "All right, sir, I will do that immediately, thank you, sir." The next day, Nkemjika filed a case against Tani and Temi at High Court as directed by Barrister Odin. Tani and Temi was still enjoying life and turning water to wine when Tani got a call that Nkemjika, her ex-wife, sued him to court. When Tani got informed about the case that Nkemjika sued him for illegal possession of her properties, he was very surprised and confused. He didn't hesitate to let her wife know about it. "Babe, could you believe that thing called Nkemjika sued me to court?" Temi, hearing that, became so surprised as she couldn't understand why Nkemjika filed a case against them. "But you were legally married to her, Tani. What has come over that silly and good-for-nothing girl? Is she thinking we are still that common people whom she knew before? What gave her the audacity to sue us to court? Is like she want to waste the little property we left for her." "Don't mind that good-for-nothing girl, my love," Tani replied Temi with a fearless mind. "But wait, something must have pushed this girl to taking this kind of action. But is backed by law that if you legally marry someone and decide to quit the marriage, you are entitled to some percentage, and as a man, you are entitled to 70% of every fortune." Temi kept on lamenting in curiosity. "Calm down, baby, all is well," Tani advising Temi, who looked worried. "I know she must have been pushed to do so by her current husband, thinking that we may succumb to the pressure." They ended their discussion and got prepared for the case. Tani and Temi hired 10 barristers for the case. The date for the first hearing was fixed and both parties were informed. Nkemjika also hired her own barristers for the case. On the first day of the first court session, Nkemjika's barristers made known to the court how Tani has been illegally possessing their clients' properties in the name of divorce. It was made known to the entire court that Demtrice Group Company and its belongs was willed to any male child that Nkemjika gave birth and not Nkemjika herself. After the court session that day, Tani and Temi became so worried. The case was going smoothly in favor of Nkemjika, and not until Tani and Temi agreed with their barristers to bribe the judge so as to pass the final judgment in their favor. Tani with his barristers went through the back door and bribed the judge to favor them. Nkemjika, on the other hand, was just following the directive of Barrister Odin, who stood as a witness for her in the courtroom. On the day of the final judgment, Nkemjika, Barrister Odin, and the board of directors of Demtrice Group of Company were all present in the court, hoping to hear the final judgment in favor of them, when they were all surprised. The already bribed judge declared the final judgment in favor of Tani, with the fact that since Nkemjika was the caretaker of the company as of the time they both divorced, that Tani is right to claim 70% of the group fortune. Tani and Temi was so happy about the judgment, and in order to celebrate their victory in court, they organized a very big party for their families and friends. Barrister Odin got so angry about the judgment. "How can this people pervert justice in broad daylight? I have been a practitioner in this field and have never lost any case. I promise to go any length to revise this uncalled judgment." Barrister Odin quickly reached out to Nkemjika and other senior staffs of the Demtrice Group in order to file an appeal in the appeal court. He told them that he is ready to go any length to make sure that justice prevails. Nkemjika, who was already tired and sad, told Odin not to bother again since they lost the case at High Court. But Barrister Odin disagreed with Nkemjika's suggestion. "Look, dear, I know how you feel because you lost the case at High Court. You feel embarrassed, but I just want to let you know you've not lost the case completely. And that is why we have other high levels of court where one can appeal for any case he or she is not satisfied with the judgment in the lower court. And I also want to tell you that I have been a practitioner for many years and I never lost any case because I always stand for the truth. I know this saying may sound strange to you, but I promise you, dear, I will make sure you get your deserved justice. Barrister Odin confidently advised Nkemjika not to lose hope. Immediately, Nkemjika and her team, including Barrister Odin, filed for appeal in the Court of Appeal, and when Tani and his legal team were informed, they got so worried. Why is this girl still going too far about this case? They lamented. Anyway, we will use our normal shortcut to get judgment to our side, Tani's legal team assured him. Tani informed Temi about the new step Nkemjika took, and they both laughed and thought is going to be an easy way for them as the previous one. When the case for the appeal started, it was going well in favor of Nkemjika with so many solid evidences and facts coming in from different corners. Barrister Odin also tendered Nkemjika's late father's will as evidence. The case became very though as Tani and her legal team never imagined. But they hoped on bribing the judge of the case to give the final judgment in their favor. Unfortunate to them, the judge didn't accept their bribe as she told them that she's not the type that accepts bribe. Tani's crew members became unrest. They thought of next plan since the judges has refused to be bribed. They came up with the idea to eliminate the male child Nkemjika gave birth to so that they will stand on point that Nkemjika don't have any male child yet and as such still have legitimate authority over her late parents' properties. They agreed to assassinate Nkemjika's son so that their opposition team will have nothing to defend with again. Tani and Temi hired a gang group to carry out the operation. But before the very day they planned to carry out the operation, an information leaked from an inside of Tani's crew that such evil act is going to happen, and Nkemjika and Barrister Odin quickly alarmed the security operatives who comprehended the gang members on that very day. After much interrogation and investigation with the comprehended gang members, they confessed that Tani sent them on the mission. Tani, hearing his name on news, became so much worried and started blaming his wife Temi for pushing him into such action from the beginning. "Look, Temi, you pushed me into this unbelievable act. You deceived me into this because of your greediness," Tani shouting at Temi. "Don't put the whole thing on me. You agreed to the plan and that's why we carried it out," Temi replied. "This is not the right time to quarrel. We should be planning on the next step of action." Temi added, "So what's your plan now, because I'm totally confused?" Tani said with sadness. "I think the best option is to leave this country immediately. And we must do that immediately. Tomorrow is the final day in court and we are losing the case already. Adding this attempted murder case involving us will definitely see us end up in prison. So I think the best plan is to leave this country immediately," Temi suggested, and both of them agreed to leave the next day. The next day in court, Tani and Temi didn't show up in court. When the judge finally passed her final judgment in favor of Nkemjika that Tani has illegally been in possession of those properties he claimed after the divorce, the judge sentenced Tani to life imprisonment and Temi to 60 years in imprisonment, with so many charges against them such as illegal possession of property, and many others. Immediately an operation was launched through the state security operatives to arrest Tani and Temi. Tani and Temi were finally caught at the international airport trying to elope to another country. Tani and Temi finally got jailed and Nkemjika recovered all the properties. Nkemjika thanked Barrister Odin and other legal team members for their towards the court victory. From that day onwards, Nkemjika and her family lived happily.